Hey, what is going on, IK Familia? It is your boy BN, aka Mr. Kingdom Builder, and today we are back again giving you that quality IK goodness. Today, we are looking at the official patch notes for the upcoming version 1.8 update that is set to arrive on January 13th, which is going to be this upcoming Thursday. Now, we're going to be walking you through, giving you a full patch rundown on all the new either features, adjustments, buffs, nerfs, giving you some of our thoughts on those as well. Now, before we get started, as always, make sure you guys sub, like, ring that notification bell, and of course, if you want to be a part of our conversation, you can join our Discord, which you'll find in the description, or pin comment down below. All right, so without further ado, here we go. Now, a lot of what we know is coming is focused on Legion of Frostborn and KVK, and there's going to be a big section on that as well. Now, let's just briefly talk about the new season system, right, that IK is introducing officially. So all servers will officially start using the season system. This will assign each server to a season based on its Chronicle progress and Legion of Frostborn performance. As each server progresses through the seasons, the maximum level of buildings, immortals, troops, dragons, and more will increase, and new academy technology and lore talent branches will be unlocked. So here's how the season divisions work. You got the prep season, which is servers that have not completed Chronicle Event 21 Royal Ambition, which is the last Chronicle to complete in your home kingdom of Norheim, will be in the prep season. Season 1, servers who have completed Chronicle 21 but have not completed the first round of Legion of Frostborn will be in Season 1. Now, we're waiting to get a confirmation on specifically if that is the case, because there is trial season, right? So what we're trying, what I have asked and finding out, and we'll clarify this as well, is that are they referring to Season 1 as the actual Season 1, or are they referring to Season 1 as the trial season? Based on these notes, I would anticipate that Season 1 just means Season 1, right? They're using that language specifically and not mentioning trial season in here at all. Season 2. Servers which have completed the first round, but not the second round of Legion of Frostborn will be in Season 2. So it's kind of like that in-between period. Season 3. Servers which have completed the second round, but not the third round of Legion of Frostborn will be in Season 3. And then Conquest Season, which is servers which have completed the third round of LOF, will be in the Conquest Season. So here's how the expansions work, right? And this is important. So we're going to get new content, specifically Tower of Knowledge skills, at Season 1. Again, Season 1, if you've completed, right, so if you have completed 21, but you haven't started the first round, I would anticipate this means from Chronicle 21 through Trial Season up until Season 1 starts. So what that means is that when this update goes live, we all, for everyone that has completed Chronicle 21, you will get new Tower of Knowledge skills. What we will not get yet is Season 2, which is the new level limits, right? Because again, servers which have completed the first round, but not the second round of LOF or KVK, right? And no one's done Season 1 yet. We've only done Trial Season. So that means that the servers that were in Trial Season that are now queuing up for Season 1 will most likely be getting these new level limit increases, unless they otherwise stipulate. And then Season 3, we're going to get more TOK skills. Now, how this could look like as well for Season 2 is this could be something as simple as them increasing the castle levels by 5, right? Like maybe it goes from 40 to 45, and then on Conquest Season, it'll go from 45 to 50, right? So you'll have an in-between time, but the benefit will still be there for servers that are already queuing up for KVK Season 1. That means that if you want to kind of boost those higher level limits, if you want to get in on those so you can max level before it hits your server, right, as these will be the new ones, then you could arguably make the case for going to a server that already is at this stage so you can get those level increases, right, and then you could always migrate back. Just an interesting little tidbit I wanted to throw in. Then we get to Alliance Tactics. Now, this is pretty cool because this is something specifically that we saw hinted at. We actually saw some screenshots of this that were shared prior to KVK being officially announced, and it was something that we wondered why it wasn't included in KVK, because we thought that it was. So Alliance Tactics, right, and this is, if this is the case, we see here it says, will be available during the regular season of LOF. Alliance Tactics provide all Alliance members with powerful battlefield support. So they're basically skills, right? These active and passive skills that you're now going to be able to use, where I believe it says an R5 or an R6, right, are going to be able to use these tactics. So some of them, you're going to get tactic points, right, and alliance tactics must be activated before they can be used, right, obtaining points. Tactic points are obtained from gnome cities. This is super important because it says after your alliance occupies a gnome city, it will obtain a certain amount of tactic point at regular intervals. This is actually giving more value now, not only to controlling cities, even though, for those of you that watched any trial season footage, you know that the rewards are fantastic that you get just from holding cities. But this is just now another reason on why you would probably fight over more of the gnome cities more often, or at least value them higher. And so again, I think this is pretty awesome that they're adding in these kind of tactic points. It's a new thing, and hopefully it will spice some of that action up, and even some of the tactics up too as well. On, when you're, like they said, there's passive, there's actives, and there's some defensive skills, right? So you'll see this here in tactics. Military tactics provides attack boost for alliance members. Expansion tactics apply to thermal tower effects and can increase the advantages provided by your alliance thermal tower. So this is pretty cool. It actually could give more value to thermal towers, like we talked about before, where now you have to connect a thermal tower to a city where it has to be touching or close to in order for you to siege it. So again, you could have one alliance siege a city, they take it in LOF, and then you dismantle a thermal tower, you retake the city, right? And the only thing they can do is just counter siege you. But if you control it and you're basically just delaying them building thermal towers, or you're denying them access to the city, right, then they're never going to be able to re-siege it. So if I interpret this the way I'm hoping it may be, right, and this is my hope, is that if they're going to allow for tactics to where, let's say, if you're fighting on thermal tower territory, you get an attack boost, or maybe you'll get a defense boost, right, or just a general stat boost if you're defending a tower, then that could be something really cool that would add another value element to thermal towers, and I actually just think is a good idea. Now, defense tactics, right, concentrate on providing defensive boosts for alliance members, right, so pretty standard, like we said. Using tactics. Now, there's certain categories, right, which are going to be into passive and then active tactics, like we mentioned, right. Passive tactics take effect after being activated. Active tactics must just be activated by an R6 or an R5. Now, there's range tactics, right. These will apply to all alliance members whose territory is in the frozen realm, right? So basically it just means that you have to go over and TP to LOF in order to take advantage of some of these tactics. Now, resetting and switching tactics. Setting tactics to adapt to ever-changing alliance management must initially set 3. You only get 3 different tactic combinations. Then switch between these combinations in response to the current situation, right? And some people might be thinking, well, what if they're just switching automatically? Is there a cooldown? Well, it does stipulate that. So it says switching combinations does not consume resources, but after switching, there is a waiting period before you can switch tactics again. So there's a cooldown, right? So there is some give and take, right? Very similar to, and I think what's cool about the switching tactic portion is it falls in line with the PvPing, right? Because you can't recall troops, so you have to commit, right, to your move. Very similar in chess, right? You make a move, you can't really reset it or take it back. So I like that they're kind of staying in line with that kind of fighting mechanic style, where, right, they're making it so you really have to think ahead. And personally, I like that. Resetting tactics. Activating tactic combinations can be reset, upon which all tactic points will be refunded, so you can use them to activate other tactics. Right. So again, right, it looks like you can reset the current tactics, you just can't switch them, right? And who knows how often the intervals will be. Now here we go, Illusion Battlefield special topic. This is pretty cool, at least from what I had briefly read before, which is essentially stating that they're adding in replays and live watch modes, which is awesome for those of you who love doing commentary. If you like doing Illusion Battlefield analysis, stuff I'd love to get into if I just had more time. But let's go ahead and read this. So now, the Illusion Battlefield special topic will appear in Daily Talks. So they're also adding a category into Daily Talks to kind of give you a dedicated news feed on IB, which is, I think, pretty awesome. Right, so it'll be there 48 hours before registration for the competition begins. During the competition, a special topic will recommend 10 exciting matches, allowing you to watch them live or via replays. To ensure the fairness of the competition, live broadcast will be delayed by 5 minutes. That makes sense, and that's only fair. You cannot pause or change the playback speed of live broadcast, right? But again, once they do finish, you can go and watch them, which I think having replays is absolutely fantastic. Post-competition period. The special topic will remain for 7 days after the competition period ends, allowing for you to watch those match replays, right? If you need to do your recordings, you can do those then. I think this is awesome. Match recommended criteria. The system will recommend matches in the current round of Illusion Battlefield based on Alliance winning odds, winning streaks, and other parameters. Interactive features. You can view live broadcasts or replays. I think this is such a big win. You can also like matches, post comments, and share matches to a chat channel. Again, I like how they're really incorporating IB now a lot more and trying to put it more front and center, like with KVK, because you can do things with IB that you can't in KVK, right? Like, again, you can watch a replay, you can watch a live broadcast. KVK is a longer thing. It's not something that's just limited to a small period of time for that match or instance to finish playing out. Prearranged units. This, in my opinion, I think is a big win because, one, this has been something we've actually asked for, and I've put out in my recommendation and suggestion videos a few times. So you're going to be now able to prearrange different troop formations that you can switch between for different combat situations. This unlock conditions, you got to be Lord level 32 or higher. You can create prearranged units. Tap the button in the top right of the unit's interface to access the prearranged unit feature. You can then edit various troop combinations and give them names. What this means, from what I'm understanding, is that you will be able to preset march types, right? So you can preset a city siege march type. You can preset a defensive garrison march type. You can preset a player sieging march set, right? And you can have different things for different occurrences that are happening. So if an example would be if a battle's happening in real time, right, you can already have like your strongest defensive garrison, and then you can have one that is just going out and attacking. You can have another one that might be more well suited to farming or hitting farms, right? Or maybe you do one for a city, but it's more focused on, hitting garrisons. Again, whatever it may be, you can do it. So I think it's pretty cool. I mean, for the most part, we kind of do that already just with the element types, but my hope is that this will open up another avenue where it might not just be necessarily limited to saying like, okay, well, hey, here's this march type or here's this element type. But again, you could still use your element types based on which ones are more useful in certain situations. So I still think it's going to be a great win regardless, but I just like that you're going to be able to prearrange these and then give them a custom name, right? Like Gulliver's Travels when you're just going out and attacking farmers. All right, exclusive immortal artifacts. Exclusive immortal artifacts are artifacts that have been exclusively made for a certain immortal. So they're adding in unique artifacts, very similar to how you have unique gear equipment, right? That is your Epic Plus specialized, where it has the borders at the corners, and then you have the element type. Like that's how you know that's the highest level gear that you can get for that specific element immortal. And so I like how they're adding in something now. Again, it's something else to get, but it's one of those things where it now kind of gives you more of a clear direction, right? I mean, don't get me wrong. I like the idea of kind of testing, having to keep crafting epic gear to try and get better rates, but if this makes it easier to where it's more defined, very similar to how equipment is pretty straightforward, then I do like this. I mean, I think it's a win where you don't necessarily have to experiment, you don't have to use as many resources. Again, if it plays out that way, if it's easy enough where it's like you just craft it once and you're done, and then you build on it, right? I think those things to me are, because they're just simplified, I like it a little bit more. So it says, if an immortal equips their exclusive own artifact, their exclusive skill will be unlocked. The exclusive skill is a massively improved version of the immortal's ultimate skill. So that's pretty cool, right? Again, if the immortal equips the exclusive artifact to a different immortal of the same class, they will enjoy its attribute bonuses, but not unlocking that exclusive skill. New immortals, Hammurabi. This is lightning, back row. Class's magic skill Final Judgment. Summons the Code of Hammurabi and casts Judgment to all enemy units, inflicting magic damage at a rate of 178.5 up to 350. Every negative effect the enemy units will have will cause the damage rate to increase by 15%, right? So this is very similar to like using the Merlin-Dito combination where you get the chill that's applied, and then Merlin doubles the damage, right, again, if a unit is chilled. So kind of a similar thing, they're just using it in a different way. And so again, I like kind of the different combo approach that they're looking at. We'll have to see how useful people feel that Hammurabi will be. But nice to see, again, another back row for lightning. That way, Genghis isn't super lonely. Even though there's another one too. All right, optimizations. Getting closer here to the end. In version 1.8, we've added a few features to help new lords join alliances learn the basics of the game. Alliance recommendations. Updated the alliance recommendation system to recommend suitable alliances based on power. Declaration. Added translation and translation review features to help you read alliance declarations written in other languages. That's cool. I would have loved to have seen some different things added here, but we'll get into that in probably another video. Added the Immortal skill effect details chapter to the development part of the guide. Again, I like how they're just constantly adding onto the survival guide. I think this is a big win. Login rewards. Login for 300 days total or 200 days in a row to receive a corresponding commemorative avatar frame. Lords who have already reached the requirements can claim the rewards after the update is complete. Again, I love the login reward thing. Let's just rip on that a little bit more. Let's do it so maybe you get every 30-day rewards, right? Maybe you get every 6 months, right? And then you get those, you get the biannual into annual, and those can be very similar, like we were saying, for kind of like the ruins rewards that you get on those tiers, right? Where it could be like really good philo stones, maybe a bunch of green gems. Again, right? This is something very unique that I've never seen done in another kingdom builder, where they give you periodic rewards, right, or milestone rewards for being logged in for a certain amount of time. This can increase engagement actually in the game if you add some of these things in. Almost kind of like if you're doing, like if you look at a game like Brawl Stars and they kind of do their pass, right, or season pass rewards, right, or again any game that kind of uses a season pass type system. Treat it like that, except do it based on loyalty, right, and engagement for login. Right, I think that's a fantastic idea that I've never seen done in the Kingdom Builder. I think IK actually has an opportunity here to expand. LOF. So again, we've talked about this with the new attack and garrison limitations. Essentially, what this means is, like we said, you have to have a flag, a thermal tower that's connecting to a city in order to be able to attack it. Increased, now this is a big win. I actually like this one. Increased resource deposit capacity. To make it easier to survive in the Frozen Realm, the capacity of level 8 or higher resource deposits in the realm has been increased. This, to me, is a big win, right? I think they should add higher level nodes, too, as well, so it's not just 8, like maybe they'll have 9 and 10s, but I think the idea of just having an increased capacity, because, again, once you start getting to 40, you get T5 unlocked, you can easily gather more than 4 million worth of resources each send out for your marches. So I like this, that they're doing that. Now, I don't know if this is going to have increased speeds or if it's just going to be increased deposits, but I still think it's a win. Design optimization. Added visual effects when gnome cities in the Frozen Realm have been damaged or are being repaired so the battle situation is more clear. I like that. Again, better visual aids. Can never be mad at that. Now, some of these interface optimizations I actually do like. Color tags. All servers participating in the Legion of Frostborn will be allocated a color. Your territory decoration, marching troops, marching lines, and territory markers on the minimap will be the same color as your server. This makes it easier to read. I actually think this is a win. Give us better visual aids and cues. Can never go wrong there. Enemy and ally tags. Friendly and enemy alliances will be marked more clearly so you can easily tell friends from foes. Thank you, bejesus. Super big win. Oh, you're singing sweet, just dandelion daisies of harmonious harmonies. That's the best I got. Chronicle calculation rules. Optimize rules for calculating thermal tower production or building objectives in the Legion Chronicle. Thermal towers produced and built before the relevant Chronicle chapter starts will also be calculated towards fulfilling the objective. This is great because what happened in trial season is that when one, if not a few of the Chronicles opened, you had to, I know at least with one, you had to rebuild. Like it started it over from 0. So you had to rebuild a bunch of more thermal towers. It just took longer to complete that Chronicle. So again, great win here. Building thermal towers. After completing, so this is even a bigger win. After completing a thermal tower's construction, the construction troops will automatically return. Thank you. Just thank you. Okay. Other optimizations as we get near the end here. Login screen changed to a brand new LOF Frostborn login background. I also added a customer service button to make it easier to contact. Right. Awesome. Dragon chests. Big one here. Ding, ding. This is a bing bong moment, if you know what I mean. For those of you who love, I can't remember the name of the Disney movie. It's really bad right now, and it's racking at my brain. Someone let me know in the comments. If not, I'll Google it later. Okay. Key gems to unlock. Here we go. You will be able to use keys or gems to unlock other chests while waiting for a dragon chest to be purified. One of the biggest asks that we have been really just imploring, right, since people started finding out that you couldn't do that. Big win here. Really excited for this, right? Just kind of shows, again, the dev team is listening, right? Sure, we might not necessarily get everything all in one bunch, and we might get things periodically over a period of time, and that's okay. But this is a big listen, right? Even though I'm sure people would have hoped for this to come earlier rather than later, I still think it's a big win. Daily talks. Press officers will be able to add an eye-catching title when publishing news. Oh, this is cool. I'll be able to add an eye-catching title, and other press officers too. Wonderful Journey. Added the skip animations and consecutive roll features. I actually like that. In a Wonderful Journey, right, where I can just do that a little easier. Here we go. Balance adjustments. This is something I saw in the general chat that people were talking about. This is Attila. Pretty much it feels like getting a nerf. But it says, again, the big change here is that the silence is gone from 50% to 35%, and that 15% he's losing is now being added to reducing the target's physical defense, right? And then the silence is now, again, for the 35%. So, again, nothing has really changed. Still the whole fan shape. The only difference is that he's losing 15% on the silence, and it's going to decreasing physical defense. Now, again, I don't know what the matchups have looked like, if this is something that's warranted or not. Again, from what I'm seeing and from what I'm hearing, again, I've kind of heard mixed reviews. I know some people that run water really feel that water is super viable right now, and it can at least compete evenly. I know other people feel like it's a little OP. Some people feel as though, it might not be strong enough. So, again, I'd love to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below. What do you think about Attila and the change here? Battle attribute adjustments. Added 2 new battle attributes, right? Magic resistance reduces magical damage received. Magic pen or penetration reduces the effect of magic resistance. So, interesting. I like how they're kind of adding in a few more elements here that we can factor into tactics. TOK skills. Energy burst added a cooldown. Skills can only be triggered once every 2 seconds instead of what I would imagine is back-to-back. So again, this seems like a nerf essentially, and I would love to know what you guys think here for those of you that rely maybe on energy burst, or if you were using energy burst in a lot of your marches or even in your primary. Let me know what you think about this, right? What do you think are the big impacts that this change is having from the new update by adding the cooldown? Vulnerabilities. Weakened the effect of troop type vulnerabilities, right? So what that would mean is, like, if you have your your spearman going up against a shieldman, right? Again, I don't have the triangle in front of me, but those troop types, right, where you would have like the negative 25% or 25% like reduced damage that you take, right, from a disadvantageous troop type. So what they're saying is that they're weakened the effect of troop type vulnerabilities. Weakened the effect of troop type vulnerability. So that means they're not increasing it, but they're weakening it, or weakening means increasing the weakness already. So in that case, and again, I did ask, let me say this as well. I did ask about both of these, just to check, because the next one says strengthen the effect of elemental vulnerabilities, right? So, right, if you're, as you guys know, right, like, dear God, like, holy beats shadow, right? Earth beats water, right? Like those types of things. So it looks like they're going to strengthen the element advantages on others. And then it looks like for the troop vulnerabilities, maybe this is going to be increased, or it's going to lower more, where instead of like you taking 25% less damage, less damage, maybe it'll be 30-35%, something like that is what I'm anticipating. If that's different, then I will, once I get an answer, I'll make a pinned comment. If not, make another video to clarify. Resources returned for dismissing troops would be obtained as non-secure resources. This is interesting because most of the time, if you're just chilling and you're not in LOF, right, I'm sure people are recycling. They're trying to get the ideal ratios, and so you're probably dismissing a good amount of troops to work on that, and those are coming back as secured resources. So, which I didn't actually know that those did. So it's nice to see that they're clarifying this by saying now it's going to be a non-secure resource. So that means that, again, people will just have more resources to plunder in LOF. All right, that's it. Wow, wild stuff. Okay, we're done. Where are we at? About 23 minutes here. This is your full patch 1.8 notes review. Again, my overall consensus and summary here is that I think overall I really like quite a few of the new features that are being added in. What I will say at the end is I'm hoping that we're going to get more quality of life features. Again, for any of you guys that have watched my suggestions videos on features and ideas to implement into the game, I really think that IK still has a very unique opportunity to do more than what other kingdom builders have been doing when it comes to quality of life and kingdom support within your home kingdom, because that is where you are the majority of the time. Outside of that, again, a lot of the updates here and a lot of the features I am very much looking forward to. There are some quality of life stuff here that I really liked with the optimizations here for the UI and LOF and a few other things. But outside of that, let me know what you think, right? After we've gone through this patch preview on anything I've touched on, shared my thoughts on, my opinion, right? Do you agree? Do you disagree? What are some things that you like from the patch notes that we've gone over so far? And then what are some things that maybe you're a little questionable about? Let me know anything and everything in those comments down below. That is it for me. Until next time, we will catch y'all later.